We have down for invocation and pledge. Joe is not here. Do we have anybody willing to give an invocation? Pledge.
I will.
Oh, okay.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, we'll do, let us stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Maurice. Tonight we have acting as our Toastmaster. It's going to be Woody Harrison. Woody is a long-time former member and now a recent member, just joined back. Glad to have you back. Would you help me welcome Woody Harrison?
Thank you very much. We need to go over this program. Let's see. We have a grammarian because this is right here.
I can do it.
JR, okay. Grammarian, JR. How about the general evaluator?
That's me.
Okay. Okay, timer. Do we have a timer?
Yes, sir. Here.
Where's the timer?
Okay, I'll sit there.
Okay, speaker number one is going to be, I guess, Lois. You want to do yours first?
Yes.
Okay, speaker number two is
Carla.
Carlotta. Okay. Table topics, let's see. Julius, you got that?
Yes.
And the general evaluator is Kedrick?
Yep.
Okay. And will you be evaluating one of the speeches?
Carlos.
Carlotta?
Yep.
He's overloaded you tonight.
Should be the second evaluator and the general evaluator.
Okay, and evaluator number one for Lois.
That was, and the general was under Maurice.
Maurice, you gonna evaluate Lois?
I can.
Okay.
I'll get you. You have your book?
I do.
Oh, okay.
It came in the mail today.
Oh,
Wait a
okay.
minute, I think, hold on. What I have is a packet, and when you're saying my book, you mean the manual?
The company
It's the
communication.
blue one right there holding
I'm
the
com-
hand.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
cool.
The other one.
Oh, the blue one,
Yes, ma'am.
except the yellow part is what's showing, so that's, hang on. Oh, Lois. There.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. Today is February 29th. It is a leap year, obviously.
Thank you.
Can anybody tell me why there are 29 days in the month of February every 4 years? Nobody knows? Maurice,
Because the Earth's orbit is not exactly 365 days.
there you go. So what would happen if we didn't have the 29th every 4 years?
Be a couple days behind every.
So as the year went by, it would be cold in July, or something like that.
Oh,
The
okay.
seasons would get all screwed up.
Yeah, eventually be, yeah, the Earth would be in the
That's
wrong
why.
place.
So I guess there's an extra quarter of a day every year, is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
That's why we have the 29, just in case y'all didn't. Okay, let's see. All right, grammarian JR, could you stand up and tell us what the grammarian does, please?
Mr. Toastmaster, it is my job as grammarian to monitor my fellow Toastmasters' speech for incorrect uses of grammar, as well as record any filler words, as or like. And I also have the word of the day, which I will challenge you all to use. That word is peremptory. It is an adjective, and it means insisting on immediate attention or obedience, especially in a brusquely imperious way. Just do it in peremptory reply. Some synonyms are brusque, imperious, high-handed, brisk, or abrupt.
Can
You say that word one more time?
Peremptory?
Peremptory?
Yes, sir.
Preemptory.
Can you spell that?
It's Peremptory.
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 Peremptory. Okay.
We thought it was preemptory, really.
It's P-E-R-P-R-E.
P-E-R.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. And our general evaluator is Kedrick. Tell us what the general evaluator does.
Yes, my role tonight as the general evaluator is to evaluate the meeting in its entirety, along with my 4 assigned roles, which one of them I'm performing as a second evaluator for Carlotta's speech. I'll have Maurice doing Lois's speech evaluation. We'll have a report from JR, which he's already done, the grammarian's report. The timer's report will be done by Brett.
Okay.
What about the archiver?
That's me too.
Okay. And JR's doing the archiver's report as well.
Okay.
So,
And Brett, you want to tell us basically what the timer does?
The timer basically starts, make sure it records the time the meeting starts, the meeting ends. All the speakers that, if they are giving a 5-minute speech, the green light comes on to signify when we get to 5 minutes, the yellow light when we get to 6, and the red light when we get to 7.
Okay. Very good. Thank you all. And I'm the Toastmaster. Basically, my job is just to conduct the meeting and introduce the speakers, the topics master, the general evaluator, and so forth and so on. Try to keep the meeting moving along. So, with no further ado, I know Lois is very anxious to get up here and do her icebreaker. This is her very first speech, right?
It is.
It is, and we're looking very much forward to hearing all about you. So come on up, Lois, and tell us all about Lois.
And thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. And thank you, my fellow Toastmaster members, and Carlotta as a guest. I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to actually do an icebreaker to my icebreaker, and then I'll bring it all together, and I'll explain to you guys exactly how it is I ended up here in Toastmasters. So, about 3 years ago, I started listening to motivational speakers on a daily basis, and I did that with the expressed intention of creating a positive mindset within myself, and it actually worked. What I learned is that the speakers whose messages resonate with me the most are those that have to do with, number one, transmuting adversities into opportunities. And secondly, those that have to do with what I'm going to call choosing prosperity in lieu of mediocrity and complacency-induced poverty. So I once read that it is alleged that 1% of the population owns nearly 50% of the wealth. And it's probably a little bit different now, but at any rate, when I read that, I was staggered. And I want to make myself perfectly clear, I was never resentful toward the top 1%. I was actually staggered by my own personal position in the wealth distribution equation. So I came up with what I call my prayer, my proclamation and declaration, and tonight is actually a personal gift to you from me. And it is with the most genuine sincerity and never before clarity. True success and or celebrity must include self-sacrifice, compromise, and charity, perhaps even unpopularity. But most assuredly, what's not to be is the huge disparity between you, me, and prosperity. So I do this day proclaim in the Creator's name, and I'd highly suggest that you do the same. Rightfully and boldly claim direction from divinity, claim sovereignty, humility, and serenity, claim unwavering loyalty and even royalty. But most definitely, what's not to be is a claim to poverty for the vast majority. So, now that you know a little bit about how I'm wired and what makes me tick, I'm going to tell you that I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and then I was raised and went to school here in Mobile, Alabama, and that does include some college. I later relocated over to Atlanta, Georgia, and that is where I started my career as an employment and staffing recruiter. And I was able to do that long enough and maybe even well enough that I eventually parlayed it into an opportunity to do it full-time from home. And at one point, I relocated to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And while I was in Oklahoma City, I actually worked on a congressional campaign. And then I relocated back to Atlanta, Georgia. And I started my recruiting career again. But more importantly, I actually started community and volunteer service. And one of those examples would be, excuse me, during the Clinton administration, I actually worked on the Welfare to Work initiative. So we helped transition welfare recipients into jobs by training them on Microsoft Office Suite and placing them with companies like UPS, AT&T, et cetera, et cetera. And then I did a volunteer piece with a place called Operation Peace. It's a nonprofit organization where we actually help low-income housing individuals with job readiness and job placement and some other services. And then I purchased my first home. And so what might be valuable to you guys about the purchase of my first home is years earlier, I actually purchased and followed the instructions in this little book here. And it is entitled Guaranteed Credit, and it's authored by Arnold Goldstein. He just happens to be a financial attorney. So it was following the instructions in his book that led to the low interest rate on my first home purchase. That's what I'm getting to. And so I want to highly recommend this read to anyone who thinks that they might benefit from taking your credit score to excellent from fair, because that's what happened to me. Then after being in my house like 5 years, the job market crashed, and I ended up being unemployed for like a couple of years. And then I came and hung out here for a very short time before I relocated over to Central Florida to share my fiance's home with him for like 4 years. And while I was in Florida, I was able to step outside of my comfort zone on more than one occasion. One of those would be an opportunity I had to speak 6 times on a radio station there in Orlando, AM radio. And then I actually joined the Mastermind Alliance. And for anybody who doesn't know, a mastermind is very similar to Toastmasters in that it is like-minded, positive individuals coming together to support each other for a common cause and to basically hold you accountable for the attainment of your cause or your goal. And then I decided that I would actually, what happened is I had a close friend of mine to ask me to sit on the board of directors for his nonprofit organization. And basically there we help African American boys transition from high school into their college and vocational years. And then I decided I wanted to have my own organization, and I created Winsation. So the name comes from the word win and sensation. And I originally thought that it might have something to do with job placement or recruiting because I already had credibility in that particular space. And then I later decided I wanted it to have more substance. And I thought about a time in my life when I had a lapse in good judgment. I made a very poor choice, and it could have landed me behind bars for a very long time. But luckily, it didn't. What did happen is I thought about those individuals who were positive influences in my life, and they helped me to maintain a strong sense of integrity and character with myself, despite myself, and I decided that's what Winsation would do. So Winsation is about offering positive peer pressure to ex-offenders, juvenile delinquents, as well as maybe students who have been placed in alternative schools because of some behavioral issues. So I came back here late last fall, and at the end of January, I had my recruiting assignment come to an end. I made the decision then that I want to develop my speaking skills. So I'm going to thank each of you in advance for helping me to become perhaps what is the best speaker that the industry has ever known. And with that, I'm going to relinquish the lecture back to you, Toastmaster.
Very good. Pretty impressive. That was a good speech.
Thank you.
You sound like you've spoken before, as you alluded to a little bit. You've got a little experience.
Just a little, just a little.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank
Nice
you.
work. Very, very good, very good. Okay, Carlotta, I don't have the title of your speech, but
Opportunity loss and cost.
opportunity loss and cost. Okay, I'd like to now introduce Carlotta, and she's going to speak on opportunity loss and cost.
Fellow Toastmasters, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come tonight. Opportunity loss and cost. Opportunity is defined as a foregone, something foregoing. You forego something to obtain something else. Opportunity is a present and a temporal situation. It is not a long-term nor something that you can put off for later, depending on what the opportunity is. We're going to look at 2 areas tonight of opportunity. I'm focusing on the cost and the loss of opportunity. First, the cost, time. Opportunity cost is time. Time is very valuable. It is something that we need to use in all our lives, and time is something that is almost priceless. And sometimes we don't have time to do all the things that we want to do, but we have to invest that time. The next area is dedication. We're not always willing to be dedicated to whatever we're doing. Dedication requires time. Dedication requires a mental ability to apply yourself and do whatever is necessary to dedicate yourself to that task. We call giving up or sacrificing. Sacrifice is very hard to do. Most times we don't want to sacrifice time or dedication to something, but opportunity requires that we sacrifice time and dedication. And sacrifice is hard to do sometimes. We don't want to sacrifice our time. We don't want to sacrifice our money. We don't want to sacrifice our relaxing time. We just want to do what we want to do and get through life. It is economically beneficial to us. Opportunity comes and is economically beneficial. And it is also economically rather not too expensive. If you take opportunity presented to you, sometimes you don't want to let it pass by, that you would not get the opportunity to make this cost-worthy effort on your behalf. It is a good chance to be associated with a brand. You remember the story of coming to America when we saw that McDowell's, he recognized that Golden Arch was an opportunity to be recognized. We know that McDonald's, when you see the Golden Arch, it is an opportunity. It's a national brand. Everybody knows about that. So you're associated with the national brand. Brand names are very important whenever you're trying to apply an opportunity or get an opportunity, take an opportunity, or be identified with an opportunity that is presented to you. And then we look at lost. You can lose your opportunity to become self-confident. Self-confidence is very important in every area of our life. No matter where you are, whether it's you're in college, whether you're working, whether you're speaking, whatever you're doing, self-confidence is very important. A lack of self-confidence have kept people from doing a lot of things in their lives, even in their personal life. Even speaking to their husband, their children, because you don't think you have the self-confidence in order to speak well. Then you have your professional interaction. You lose the opportunity to have professional interaction. Professional interaction is very important. No matter where you are or whoever you are or where you are going to, professional interaction is very important. You meet some of the most excellent professionals out there. There is an industry talking and speaking and doing. So take the opportunity to have an interaction with them. Don't let this opportunity pass by. Then we think about growth. Growth is necessary. If we don't grow, then we're not part of this society out there. Jobs are very important. We have to grow. The growth considers that going up a ladder. Think about that. You go up one rung at a time. You can't go up two rungs at a time. It's not possible. So it's a lockstep process. Growth is a lockstep process. So you grow and you go. If babies are not growing, then there's something wrong. If we're not growing, then there's something wrong because we're not taking our opportunity to effect this growth. Then we think about efficiency. Efficiency is so important. You can be efficient and effective, but you don't have to always be highly efficient to be effective. If you are 65% efficient, you can be effective. There's no such thing as 100% efficiency because it's not possible because we're human beings. But you can raise the level of your efficiency as high as you want to or as high as you want to go. We all have our different levels of efficiency and our mental ability, so we use that the opportunity to use that to grow, to make yourself as good as you can or make yourself as efficient in the area that you're looking to be in. Your ability to speak well. Speaking well is very important. No one wants to listen to someone that cannot speak well. If you are arming and R and so and all the time, no one wants to listen to that because they lose the point. You bore them to death. So speaking well gets us a long way in life, as you well know. If you don't speak well, then you don't go very far in life. You have to be able to speak well, explain yourself, get people the ideas over. I'm a university professor. If I could not speak well, then my students would not know exactly what I am trying to tell them. Then body language. Body language is so important. People watch what you do and not what you say. Your body language, your eye contact, your hand movements, everything about your body, your clothes, your everything, every movement they look at. They don't listen to what you say, they listen to what you do. And body language is very important. People read body language at all times. They don't read what you say, they listen to what you say, but most time our body language can contradict what our mouths is saying. And most time I find that that's true. My students in the classroom, I'm looking at their mouths, but their body language tells me what they're feeling. And they're wanting the professor to sit down and shut up and don't try to advise them. Then we look at the loss of job opportunities. If you're not efficient, professional, effective at what you do, you lose job opportunities. Job opportunities are out there, but you lose opportunity because you have not effected that growth that you needed to. You're not professional, you've not have the time, the dedication, that you've had all these opportunities you've let pass by. And then we think of moving forward. Moving forward is very important. We cannot grow if you don't move forward in life. Moving forward is important. You can't stay in the same place. I heard a joke one time that said, someone said that you're in the same place because you stayed in the same place. You don't ever move. It's almost like staying in a town. You don't move out that town. If you never move from Mobile, then you don't know what moving out is or moving forward is. You stay in the same place at all times. Even if you just visit outside of Mobile, just don't stay inside the same place at all times. And that's the same way it is with opportunity and with anything in our lives. And then we have leadership. Leadership is very important. Leadership and management are two different areas. Leaders and managers are very seldom the same person or the same people. A leader is one that motivates, inspires, that go-to person. A manager organizes, delegates, plans. They do that. They are more statistics people, statistics in fact. The leader is one that shows the way, that can help if the manager would like them. So if you're a leader, that is good. If you're a manager, that's good. But you cannot be either one if you have not taken opportunity to improve yourself or get a chance to improve yourself. Then we think about opportunity as far as being in Toastmasters. Toastmasters gives you that opportunity for growth, but it takes time, it takes dedication, it takes sacrifice, it takes giving up something to achieve something else. And this is what opportunities means, giving up something to achieve something else. So we need to take those opportunities that present before us. Toastmasters is an international brand. It is 800,000 members strong in 86 clubs, 86 districts actually, in all these countries around the world. So you have to think about what Toastmasters will do for you. So I encourage you, when you are thinking about joining Toastmasters, join. If you're thinking about leaving Toastmasters, don't. And if you're thinking about whether Toastmasters can improve your skills and abilities, it can. And it is a very economical way to do that. You don't have to pay a lot. It costs you less than $100 a year. Any other training organization, any other university you go to, costs $200 for those training out there, $100 for each training course that you take at these organizations. If you're in college, it's going to cost you thousands of dollars. But Toastmasters give you a chance to gain confidence, expertise, your body language, and you work on every part of your speaking skills. And take that opportunity. Don't let it pass by. You need to grow. So I encourage you to do that. Don't misuse Toastmasters or don't ignore Toastmasters. Use it in your life. Use it in your career. And it helps build your career. You see on LinkedIn and everywhere else, Toastmasters people go a long way. They're always desired. People that are speaking well, present themselves well. Your boss is not going to send you out there if you can't speak well and present yourself well. So you have an opportunity, use Toastmasters to gain self-confidence and grow. Mr. Toastmaster.
Very impressive. Very impressive. Okay, at this point, we're going to get to a little different part of the meeting. We're going to do some table topics, and Julius is gonna lead us in some table topics, and hopefully we're gonna have a little fun here for everybody. Come on up, Julius.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Those were two very good speeches. I got a lot out of both of them. And at this time, I want to take the opportunity to speak peremptorily and quickly and impromptuly. And my first person to speak will be Mark. You ready, Mark? The question mark is, we know that leap year is not a holiday, but what is your most memorable holiday?
My most memorable holiday, I'd have to say, is Thanksgiving. I always like Thanksgiving, and I'm glad that we have it every year instead of once every 4 years. Thanksgiving is great because it's getting the family together, extended family together, and sharing a huge meal, and usually a football game in the backyard after the meal. And building memories. Sometimes Thanksgiving will be the last time you see a family member. That's what happened to us the Thanksgiving before. And so you want to build these memories, see your family, see your extended family, forgive them. Because every family has one of those people that just is crazy, drives you nuts. But you want to forgive them, build a memory, think of the good things, and celebrate my favorite holiday. Thanks.
All right.
And this question is for Woody. I plan to retire early so that I can.
Oh, is that mine? Wow. I plan to retire early so that I can enjoy life. I don't know. You know, I would like to retire early because of how the money works out. You know, I've got to evaluate my 401k and my pension plan and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, I had a good friend that I worked out with every day at Pro Health here recently, and he was 62 years old. He was all excited about retirement. He was retiring December 31st, and 3 months before that, he goes to the doctor. He's having stomach trouble. Turns out it was cancer. He died at Christmas time. You know, so I mean that's just one of those things you never know. A lot of people wait and say, I'm gonna work till I'm 65. I'm gonna work till I'm 70, but you don't know what's in the cards. You don't know how long you're gonna live. So if you can retire early and do something that maybe you enjoy a little more than what you're doing, whether it's travel or whether it's another job or whether it's becoming a politician or a teacher, whatever, then do it. And you know, a lot of people change careers when they're 55, 60, 65, and they do something totally different. And I just might do the same thing.
Very good. All right. Good answer. Hillary Clinton has an opportunity to possibly be the first female president. With that, I'd like to hear from Helen on this question. If I could be president for a day, I'd.
Good evening. If I could be president for a day, I don't know exactly what I would do. I guess I would tour around the White House, see all its cool, like, secret chambers and whatever, secret rooms. Probably get a really nice dinner and stuff, and maybe take the private plane that the president gets to use to like Hawaii or something. I guess the president has a lot of power to do stuff, but like I can't really think of anything that I really want to do. There's a lot of things that people could do, and then it would just, turn crazy, or it would be a really big mistake. And I'm not really the type of person that's smart about stuff like that. So I guess if I were going to be president for a day, I would